The Olympus G Zuiko 4.2cm f1.8 was the lens that came with the Olympus SC, a fixed-lens rangefinder camera that was made in Japan and produced between 1963 and 1965. Besides the Olympus SC, this lens can be found in two other cameras that Olympus made in the 1960s, the Olympus S and the Olympus Electroset. All three cameras have the same G Zuiko 4.2cm f1.8 lens. The letter G, seen here on the front plate, corresponds to the number of glass elements. And since the letter G is the seventh letter in the alphabet, it means that there are 7 elements in this lens. And in this case, the optical design consists of 7 elements in 5 groups. The aperture is clickless and ranges from f1.8 to f16. The diaphragm is made of 5 rounded aperture blades. This lens accepts filters with 49mm diameter. On the back, this lens is a bit different. After I removed it from the Olympus SC, it had no mount and no focusing helicoid. But adapting it to Sony Digital is very easy. I used an M42 to M52 step-up ring and an M42 to NEX 13 to 18mm focusing helicoid. First I had to sand down the step-up ring a bit so I can reach infinity, and once that was done I simply super glued it to the back of the lens. Once the glue was dry, all I had to do was attach the lens to the helicoid and I was ready to use it on my Sony camera. This lens weighs 224 grams and that includes the step-up ring and the focusing helicoid. When this lens was part of the Olympus SC, it had pretty unremarkable minimum focusing distance of 85 centimeters. But when adapted to Sony Digital in the way I just described, the minimum focusing distance becomes only 37 centimeters. The Olympus G Zuiko 4.2cm f1.8 is one truly excellent rangefinder lens. I had no idea what to expect from it since I bought the Olympus SC on a whim, but this lens keeps surprising me over and over with its exceptional image quality. Optically speaking, this lens is quite amazing. Wide open, it performs very well with really good center sharpness and nice out of focus blur. It produces lovely colors with natural color rendition and beautiful tones. For the most part, contrast is excellent, even though it diminishes a bit if you're shooting wide open in bright conditions. At f1.8, this Zuiko has the usual circular out-of-focus lights, which become more cat-eye shaped towards the edges. And if you stop it down, you can expect pentagonal out-of-focus lights due to the 5-bladed diaphragm. If you don't like lenses that flare a lot, you probably will not like this lens because if you point it towards the sun, it produces crazy flares with plenty of veiling and ghosts. But for people who enjoy flare for artistic purposes, this lens can be a lot of fun. While using this Zuiko, I did not notice any distortion and chromatic aberrations are basically non-existent. I had no issues with color fringing whatsoever, no matter what I decided to photograph. Wide open, this lens does have some visible vignetting, but that goes away as you stop it down and it's completely gone by f8. And stopping this lens down is when its optics really shine. By f2.8, it's already super sharp for most of the frame, and by f4 the resolution is fantastic. Stopped down to f8, it is easily one of the sharpest lenses I've tried in the 40 to 50mm range. Quite a few rangefinder lenses have a hard time resolving the edges on a full-frame sensor, but not this Zuiko. Stopped down to f4, this lens is sharp from corner to corner, even on full frame. When I saw this, I was super excited because this lens is wider than a normal 50mm, which I love, and the fact that it performs so well makes it a great companion for a ton of applications. My only gripe with this lens is its build quality. Unfortunately, Olympus used some plastic parts, and this makes the lens feel a bit cheap and less solid when compared to other lenses from the early 60s. But that of course doesn't affect the images that this wonderful lens can produce, and I still had a great experience shooting with it. If you find one of these Zuiko lenses attached to a broken Olympus SC or Electroset, go ahead and give it a try because I'm sure you will not be disappointed. I never thought that I will enjoy this lens so much, but its great colors, its phenomenal sharpness, its lack of distortion, and its absence of fringing make it a total keeper. For those of you who would like to try this wonderful Olympus lens, I decided to put together a few notes that will help you adapt it to digital. First, you need to get yourself one of these Olympus cameras which all have the same lens. Then you need to open up the film door. Once the door is open, you will notice the retaining ring that holds the lens in place. There are 4 divots on the retaining ring. Now grab a lens spanner wrench, position it inside 2 of the divots and unscrew the retaining ring. After you unscrew the ring, the lens simply comes out. Now the only thing holding the lens are these 2 wires. Simply cut the 2 wires and the lens is yours. Next, you need to open up the shutter. First, make sure that the lens is in bulb mode. Then, grab some pliers, some tweezers, and a little piece of crumpled paper. Now, when you look closely at the back of the lens, you will notice that there are 2 little rods. One is the shutter cocking spindle and the other the shutter release lever. Grab your pliers and rotate the spindle clockwise until you hear a little click. Then push the shutter release lever with one finger and hold it in place. At the same time, grab your tweezers, pick up that little piece of paper you've prepared, and insert it in the little gap. Now when you let go of the lever, the shutter stays open and you can use the aperture just like any other lens. And now all you need to do is sand down the step-up ring a bit so you can reach infinity. Some people have asked me about this process in previous DIY videos I've shown here, so I decided to explain this in more detail. First, I test to see if I can reach infinity by simply taping up the step-up ring just the way it is with some electrical tape. This is a very easy and quick way to check infinity focus with any lens you're trying to adapt. In this situation, after I taped the step-up ring, I wasn't able to reach infinity, which meant that I had to sand it down a bit. For this part, I use a medium grit sandpaper and a block of wood. To make things easier for me, I screw the step-up ring to an M42 extension tube. This way I have a much better grip when I hold it down. And then I begin to sand it in circular motions by applying even pressure so the ring is as flat as possible. After I sand it a bit, I tape it again to the lens and check if I can reach infinity. I do this a few times until I reach the correct distance, and at the end I glue it to the back of the lens. And this is all you need to do to adapt this wonderful Zuiko lens. If you are interested in any of the parts I mentioned in the video, I will leave links for them in the description below. And if you have any questions about adapting this lens, don't hesitate to ask. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time here at Vintage Optics.